So I still need to
Join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Can I get a roll call, please, Marcia?
Sure, Jeff. Ben.
Here.
Brian.
Here.
John.
Here.
Jim.
Here. Nice, thank you. I'll need a motion to approve the agenda. I'll make a motion. Agenda.
I'll second. Jeff, aye. Ben, aye. Brian, aye.
John, aye.
Jim, aye.
Motion carries. At this time, we'll open it up for citizen comment for anything on the agenda this evening. And I will just state that we are setting a public hearing for several things, including chickens tonight. So yeah, if you want a couple of words, but the real discussion will be in 2 weeks. So I'm just kind of going to throw that out there.
Is it possible to talk about the agenda from 2 weeks ago?
At the end.
We'll have citizen come in again at the end of the meeting.
Yeah, that would probably.
We would do that.
All right, we'll go ahead and close the citizen comment right now. I will need a motion to approve the consent agenda unless there are any questions on it.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda. I'll second. Jeff, aye. Ben, aye. Brian, aye.
John, aye.
Jim, aye.
Motion carries. Next up, we have our department reports, starting with Parks and Rec. Stacy?
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot. I think the biggest is just kind of getting ready for summer stuff already. Baseball, softball, day camp are my big ones. Day camp registration starts March 1st. So it'll be a big one. And then baseball and softball's ongoing. But yeah, that's kind of biggest press right now. I don't know if you guys have any questions on anything.
I did have one question. It doesn't have, not on this. Where do they have the floor installed? Seems like we're not getting anywhere.
We're not. No, but kind of, so yes, so kind of on purpose. So I should have updated you on that. We are going to wait till September. Not a super popular pick, but I met with commercial flooring now a couple times. It kind of has dual reasoning. One, they really don't like my idea of closing only half the gym to be able to do it because they have to go completely all the way across and the stop halfway just doesn't make sense to them. And I can't fathom closing the gym right now for 2 weeks. And so we kind of went back and forth. If there's anything else we can do, we talked about third shift. Third shift would delay it from 2 weeks to 4 weeks and not ideal for either party. And then I think the biggest thing is September, we're not that busy yet. We were thinking having a lot of time to give people a warning that, hey, just an FYI, this is happening as you renew your memberships, as you renew whatever you know that this is coming up. We will still have the backcourt open, but at least that point it's slower that we can have the backcourt open. And then the big one that I guess would be pushing for is purely to give that backcourt more time, just to make sure. Obviously, you guys know a year and a half ago we sat here, we said, do we do this test spot? We did the test spot. The test spot failed. And more than anything, that to make sure that not only are we moving in the right direction, the right product, it's not going to fail. If it does, it's under warranty. The company is backing it up, has backed it up. But if we need to change courses, I would like to only change course on one portion versus the entirety of it. So is it getting drawn out even longer? Yes. Do I think it'll be worth it in the end? I truly do. I think that it's going to be best just to make sure with everything we've done, let's make sure the product holds up and it's going to look good for years to come versus months to come.
So 2 questions. September's quieter than the summer, July and August?
So ironically, commercial flooring's busiest time is the summer. He goes right into schools. So we kind of get moved into, I will say them, but also us in day camp. To have that plus day camp going on here, kind of makes me want to scream. So I do. But yes, as far as the courts and busyness, honestly, September, even October still, end of October tends to be when when we start picking up back inside from people from outside.
And then my second question, they'll honor the same unit pricing and the same contract that we already, even though it's gonna be
Everything's locked.
a year from
Yep,
when we sign.
Yep, so he already has all the product in hand. We already paid for all the product. So I mean, it's just his wages really from there. But yes, he is not changing the price of anything by doing it that way. Anything else?
No. There's no good time.
Yeah, there's,
Oh, that was
Like,
very
well,
much
there's
what
just
we,
no good
yeah,
time.
but I feel like now is even, I mean, with all the tournaments and
Yeah,
we're just
right.
busier
Now it's bad.
now than we are the fall.
we block out from having tournaments then, obviously in September.
Yeah, we usually don't start tournaments until end of October, beginning of November. So we're good there. And like I said, we'll still open on the weekends, so it's just Monday through Friday for 2 weeks that we'll have to close that portion of the gym. So
Just kind of for open gym more than,
correct.
okay.
Correct. The rest will stay open. I don't mean closing PCC, just the courts will
Right.
close. So.
All right, thanks, Stacy. Next up, we have police chief.
Yeah, the only thing I have extra for you guys, I gave you guys the rundown on Toby last, the work session. Still doing great, still learning all that. But the only thing I have extra is I started a GTSB grant to, just started it. So that's the Governor Traffic Safety Bureau, where we do our step, where that's the grants for overtime for officers to go out and do high enforcement, in the community, and the state pays for it, if you didn't know what that was. But we usually get it every year. We try, right, submit it every year. So far, we got it last year, and it's what my understanding is fairly hard grant to get now. So cross your fingers, hopefully we get it again this year. So I just started it as being submitted by February 28th, and I'll have it in. Just hopefully we'll get it. But all I got for you.
And if and when that's awarded, it's awarded for a year at a time.
Yeah, it's 1 year at a time.
Does it have a cap? It's just a dollar amount? Or is
There's a dollar amount, but it just depends on certain departments get more than others.
I
So,
see.
yeah, so I like, for instance, last year I put in for, I think 9,000, we got 6,000. It just kind of depends on what they're feeling.
And the units are
Okay.
reimbursement,
It's a
so,
reimbursement.
yeah, so we have the officers work it, then we pay them, and then he turns the reimbursement in.
So you know what you're getting beforehand.
No, I don't. I can put in an amount that I'm requesting.
Request.
I kind of have a request amount.
Right,
which would
but
be
your
that-
reimbursement, when you reimburse, you already know.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I know the amount already, yeah. So I do so many hours a month. I tell the officers they can go out and do, 5 hours a step or 10 hours a step a month or whatever. And then, they go out and do it, they get reimbursed or they get paid through the city. And then I submit a reimbursement through the state. Every month I do that and Marcy gets it. Yep. We've been doing it for years. It's just the grant's getting harder to get now. So hopefully.
All right, thanks, chief. Public works. Dean?
Sure. Any questions on anything on the report? I really don't have anything necessarily important to add to the work session, I guess, any discussion we had. Mainly.
No further challenges with well two after you got it sort of reef.
No, we got it back up and
rewired
running.
and
No. And once they submit the bill, it's probably something we're gonna turn into our insurance.
okay.
So hopefully we can get that taken care of through that. And I've already talked to the well drillers, and he pretty much wants to handle all that, so there's not miscommunication on either end, means that's their profession. So.
Thanks, Dean.
Yeah.
Planning and zoning. So the proposed Peosta zoning ordinance, we are not taking any action on this evening.
Correct.
It's on your agenda, but more work needs to be done before it will come officially to council. So item 7, just take no action tonight. Mayor's report. Hey, that's me. Been kind of working, as everyone sees, Dan is here, our interim city administrator. Gary McAndrew's search is still, he has the search going for a permanent replacement. And I haven't received an update recently from him, but I'll be checking in with him on a somewhat regular basis. Some of the ads and stuff we have out there are listing, I think they're listed for about 45 days. See what we get from that. And go forward at that time and then decide if we need to readjust. But I think the thinking is still a 3 months period, maybe, you know, depending on what kind of feedback we get. So, other than that, I don't have a lot of other things to report. So just keep moving on. So next up will be resolution approving the contract for our interim, why can't I say it? Interim city administrator. Wow.
That was really well.
I was trying to read it, not just say it, so. Yeah, woo, that's it, I'm out. Dan Gifford, so we've got an ordinance here approving his hire and his contract, so. Discussion from anybody on council. Then I'll need.
Excited to have you, Dan.
Yes.
Excited to have you join us. Thank you for
You're welcome.
providing this leadership in this gap here for us.
Thoroughly enjoy it, I can tell.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution.
I'll second. Jeff, I. Ben, I. Brian, I.
John, I.
Jim, I.
Motion carries. Next up, resolution setting a public hearing for ordinance to allow laying hens within the city of Peosta for February 24th, 2026.
I'll make it. Go ahead.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution setting a public hearing ordinance to allow laying hens in the city of Peosta.
I'll second. Jeff, I. Ben, I. Brian, I.
John, I.
Jim, I.
Motion carries. Next item is resolution setting a public hearing date for the zoning ordinance revisions. As I stated earlier, we'll be taking no action on that, so we would not be setting that public hearing tonight.
If we have questions for you, Mayor,
Oh, yeah,
if we
go
have
ahead.
questions on the ordinance that's marked up, should we make the comments here? So we, in public forum, so we can get them looked into when it comes back? Or how do you want to handle
You
it?
certainly can, or you can just reach out to Kathy.
Okay. Well, I'll just state it so people know what I'm thinking. I didn't see the provisions in each of the zoning categories for the sidewalks. And I'm not sure if it's covered under a sidewalk ordinance or if it has to be stated explicitly in the different zoning districts. So it was in the new district that they proposed the multi-use. And it just wasn't restated like in residential and commercial and whatnot. So my assumption is we want one side of the street in any new development to have sidewalk or trail throughout the town for complete walkability. So if that's our intent, we should just make sure that if it needs to be in this zoning ordinance, it's written that way.
I guess it's in the regular code of ordinances, right?
I think there is a sidewalk ordinance that states that.
So it's just not in the zoning code of ordinances.
Is it something that is
Does it need to be?
It's redundant.
It has all the design specs for the developers and everything in there. And then, you know, one section talks about sidewalk and the other zoning district
Yeah,
don't.
I could take that
To me, it would
to
be like,
Kathy / Doug.
I wouldn't want somebody to say, oh, I didn't know we had a separate sidewalk ordinance. And of course, we'd probably be approving their plans, but anyway.
Yep.
Make it
States, I
explicit.
think I got passed this a couple of years ago because it was right after
Yes.
Slavic got approved for phase 4.
It might be that we need to reference that ordinance.
I can
in
make
this.
Yeah, I'll make a note and ask Doug and Kathy.
Reference
that.
Yeah.
sidewalk ordinance.
Maybe we look at it, make sure we think it's complete enough.
Next up, we will look to set a resolution for public hearing for property tax rate for fiscal year 27.
So if you remember from the last couple of years with the changes, we have to set that in advance, and we'll have that meeting at 5:30. And then that's all that happens during that meeting. And then at 6 o'clock, we'll have our regular meeting. So this is just setting the public hearing, I believe.
March 24th.
Right.
Yeah, so this isn't for the 24th of February. This is for March 24th.
The resolution says 5:45.
Does it say 5:45? Okay, we can do 5:45.
Well, it depends on if we're supposed to allow 15 or 20 minutes and then a break before the city council
I
meeting.
don't think we need to break. We could do 5:45.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution scheduling the public hearing for fiscal year 2027 property tax rate for March 24th at 5:45 PM.
I'll second.
Jeff, aye. Ben, aye. Brian, aye.
John, I.
Jim, aye.
Motion carries. At this time, I will open it up for citizen comment for anything not on the agenda. I don't know if Alex would like to approach.
Does anybody want to go first?
Sid.
It would have been maybe the world's shortest meeting, but I'm here.
No.
Name and address.
Yeah, Alex here, 715 Bertrish. Really just kind of want to talk about the agenda from 2 weeks ago, the last city council meeting.
Yes.
It appears that our business was talked about during that meeting. I have a copy of the agenda here. And, I try to review the agendas prior to the meetings. I have a 3-year-old. They're a pretty busy life. Try really hard to make it to many as a kid. But when I see something on the agenda that just says Maggie Burger, and then to get a call and a message from people at the council meeting saying, hey, they're talking about you, is a little embarrassing. So I just kind of want to bring that to your attention that, I had no idea that we were going to be on the agenda regarding something that we talked about on October 14th.
Yeah, and if I may, the discussion was what options were available to us as a council. And it was not designed to be, it wasn't an open discussion for, what could or, as far as input. I think we were all, we've discussed it at length with you, so we're all very much, in agreement on what options are available to us. And until and I think you guys are aware, until the TIF agreement runs out with the developer, our hands are kind of tied. So what we've talked about is having some sort of, and whether it's a resolution or whatever, drafted for a future council, which won't bind their hands, but say, hey, our recommendation is that we talk to these people at that time and see if anything can be done.
Sure. No, I respect that.
Yeah.
And I want to go back to our October 14th meeting, and I brought that agenda and also the notes from that. And I believe at that time, we agreed to have like a working meeting regarding kind of the project that we're talking about, so to not have any input between October 14th and January 27th. And then to get a call saying that, that Maggie Burger's here talking about her business. I just feel like we should be included in those conversations. And, somebody certainly reached out to Maggie to get her attention to be on the call. And I think it'd be just really helpful for us to get a message as well.
And I'm not sure which meeting it was, Alex, but I do believe
This was a question that we were asking for.
that I do believe that we did have a discussion with you, and we did talking about getting a recommendation to future council.
Yeah.
And that was the discussion. The discussion I think you're referring to from October. We had another discussion after that. And we did talk about having some sort of a recommendation put together. And then the Maggie is not really pertinent to, it is your business.
Yeah.
But it was pertinent to, as a generic term, what could we do as a council? I'm not saying we could or couldn't have. It wasn't intentional. We're not trying to sneak something by anybody.
No, and I'm very much not trying to
Yeah.
say that. But when we talk about like transparency and like maybe what stated on the agenda, something like that, whatever. I got a call from Conrad at the TH last week too, saying, hey, I've noticed that you've been at the council meetings a few times. Can you tell me why you've been going and blah, 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 blah. And, you know, he was, the one day that we had the first chicken meeting, he appreciated me standing up here and said, hey, we have a whole bunch of people here. Why don't we talk about the process of this so it doesn't get to a third reading and people get disappointed? Actually, it was the water and sewer night. So like, he was like, we need more people to be invested in this.
Oh, yeah.
And I think I enjoy coming here. You enjoy having me. But it just sucks to get a call from somebody being like, hey, they're talking about you. And like, to me, have no idea that we were even being talked about. So, you know, as we think about like what's written on the agenda, I don't know. And to that point, just back to our October 14th meeting, I've never brought this up before, and Annette is not here. So it's a moot point, but we were on that agenda on August 14th. And the only way that I knew that was because I looked at the agenda on that Monday when it was released. And I have never heard from Annette, except for that same night at 8:22, she emailed me and said, hey, if the grill billies are cooking at your business, you need to have a food permit. And I said, Annette, they're not selling. We're donating the food out to the people that are coming. And she's like, okay, well, you don't need it. But she reached out after the meeting that night to tell me about some ordinance, but not to have the wherewithal to say, hey, you're on the agenda tonight. Mm-hmm. And then the second time I heard from her was the Saturday that we had the party, because she called the cops on us for parking on the side of the road. And the gentleman, no,
We don't know who called.
No,
We had anonymous, regardless, there's no parking on that side of the street.
Yeah, and I didn't know that, which is awesome. So thankfully, I don't remember the officer.
It was
today.
Eric that.
Yeah, and he's like, hey, just tell the people. I was like, where's the sign? He's like, right there. I was like, okay. And we had a windstorm that day. We had to move the whole party because of the wind. It was, but I'm not trying to get anybody on anybody, but it's like the times that we hear about things are usually because our grass is too long or something like that. And I just really wish, you know, we'd be as transparent as possible with conversations on that.
Okay. Yeah, we can be probably a little more descriptive on the agenda of, and I don't know if it would have, again, listed you specifically under the Maggie.
Yeah.
Because the discussion truly was options that we can do dealing with businesses in our town.
Yeah.
So you are the example. There you go.
Thank you.
So,
and with that, I printed out some stuff today. I just really, for the sake of me not wasting a whole bunch of paper. But you know, we talk about our developer being our hands tied because the developer has a TIF money. And I just also want maybe our example to express how important some of this is to us. And through this whole research, you know, I have a developer agreement with Dollar General. You know, we decided in the city of Peosta to do an agreement with Dollar General, and they got $250,000 for, I don't know why, because, you know, if you look, they're a $32 billion company, you know, and
how much was the TIF?
250,000. And there's a whole bunch of memes talking about how they put Dollar Generals up in any cornfield of any city. So, you know, as we're allocating money for future businesses, I just want you all to be really conscious of how that affects the community. And I think you know that. I think our story may bring some of that stuff to light. But for a $32 billion business, get $250,000, and they still built a business in Epworth, 7 miles away. You know, so something to consider. There's one more thing.
If I may on that,
Yeah.
I know, I believe the discussion on that was the type of building that was going up, a tin shack versus a brick building, I think was the crux of that conversation. Just for texture of the story.
Totally, and then we get penalized at the property tax level for not building a tin shed. You know, our $2 million building, they're building for $1 million if I wanted to. You know, so we lose on that end as well. And then as I approached the council in the fall about a potential TIF reimbursement, you know, we would use that money to add value to our business. And I think a lot of the TIF money that has spent was to help businesses relocate or be part of their business. But our goal with any TIF money would be to add value to our business, therefore generating more income for the state of Iowa, city of Dubuque, city of Peosta, who gets 34% levy of that. And, you know, I don't know if Dartbird, Jumble, Dollar General, whoever, is providing any return on investment for that, for the city. But for us, you know, it would turn our, you know, we'd add $500,000 to our project, which would increase our property taxes. And then in 15 years, you guys would all have your money back, and in perpetuity, a whole bunch more over the 40, 50, 60 years that our building might be here. So anyway, it's a big deal to us, and not being on the agenda. And like I said, getting messages being like, hey, they're talking about you. It just didn't feel great. So I'm over my 2 minutes.
3, I will give you 3.
Thank you.
And Alex, I think I'll give you, if you do, you're here.
Yes.
At least
Yeah,
one
maybe
meeting every.
Allocated some buildup, but it
So,
is important to us.
yeah,
It's important to the community. We appreciate your guys' time.
yeah, we appreciate.
I love talking to TH, but I also, you know, want you all to be, you know,
Yeah, no,
part of the
we
conversation.
do listen, so.
If I may, Alex, on your specific issue, what we heard from our financial advisor is that her estimate is that the prospect development won't spend itself out or expire until about 2033. And I specifically asked the question, what can we as a current council do? Because that'll be a different council at that point. So we were just talking up here before the meeting. We're going to try and figure out what it looks like to formalize some sort of a comment from this council or a resolution from this council instructing or asking a future council to relook, you know, probably after 2031 or something, but
Yeah, the
to make sure
recommendation,
that at least it comes back to the table, you know, in a future council.
because the recommendation from Maggie was to bring it up around 2031. So there's time
So-
to do it, not just, it expired, now what?
Yeah.
So,
No, I just, like I said, that's why I'm here. I try to come all the time to be in the loop, and then I felt out of the loop, which feels weird when you try to be in the loop.
yeah, I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thanks, Alex.
Hi, everyone. My name is Carolyn Wiesrek, and I do my address.
Yes, please.
15941 Derby Grange Road.
Can you spell your last name,
Sure.
please?
WIEZOREK. And I'm planning on running for the Iowa House of Representatives. And so I want to attend some of the local city council meetings to kind of see what your challenges are, to learn from you, and to just have an idea of what your successes are, what your struggles are, what your challenges are, and just to be more informed. So,
You got a couple hours?
yeah. Sure, we could. But I have a card.
Yes,
If you
thank
want
you.
to reach out, I'm happy to talk with any of you. If there's anything that you think I should know, that would be helpful to me. Yep. Thank you. Any questions or anything from? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Anyone else like to approach the council this evening? Anyone online who would like to talk to the council?
Definitely wanted to come with me, but she's at home.
She's got a 3-year-old as well.
She's giving a peace sign.
Hi, Steph.
Aw, the baby.
All right, then we'll close the citizen comment at this time, and I'll need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn. I'll second.
Jeff, I. Ben, I. Brian, I.
Sean,
Jim, I.
Motion carries. We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody, for coming.